It's 5:31, y'all. It is now 5:33. It is now 5:34, and this is the regularly scheduled Environmental Commission meeting. Today is Thursday, February 10th, 2022. Shall we begin the meeting?
Yes.
Excellent, and I'll start with roll call. Commissioner Katie Kramer.
Present.
Commissioner Carol Parker.
Present.
Commissioner William Morrison.
Present.
Commissioner Robert Switzler.
Present.
And Commissioner Mark O'Connor.
Present.
Let the record show we have 5 members of the Environmental Commission tonight. Next item is Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Next item is,
Item would be changes to the agenda, and there are no changes to the posted agenda tonight. The next item is oral communications, and we have 2 speakers. Our first speaker is Ms. Gerald Ann Kessler. Ms. Kessler, you have 3 minutes to address the commission.
Can we start it from the 3? It might take a little, the full 3 minutes. Sorry. I would like to speak about the Staver Environmental Nightmare Housing Project on Melba Road that is slated to take down a grove of mature Torrey pines, 173 trees, 30 smaller trees, and native shrubs, along with demoing a beautiful historical home built in 1938, all based on the ill-fated density bonus law AB 2345. We recently received several more documents from the city about this potential density bonus nightmare housing project and have found that it is once again filled with inaccurate information. My main concern is the tree count not being accurate, the drainage and hydrology, which will be sending the runoff into Ocean Knoll Canyon, and lastly, the most important is the historical and cultural report finding. The cultural report was done by Cogstone and only goes back as far as 1950s on the property. As I mentioned before, the prior owner of the Staver property was also the prior owner of the Botanical Gardens property. His name is Anton Van Amersfoort, who owned the Staver property and sold it in 1938 based on the deed we found at the county. None of this is mentioned in the Cogstone report because they did not do their due diligence, go back far enough. The first 40 pages of the report go into detail about California's history, then discussed how qualified the people are who are doing the study are. But Cogstone did not investigate what the significance of the property has to Encinitas history. This report is not sufficient, and I have been researching this since January 2021. And although it has been challenging to me because my background is mainly medical, I've been able to uncover the fact that this gentleman, Anton, who owned the Staver property, was a key player in the development of Encinitas. He was a founding member of the Water District Board and served for several years. During his time of service, the bond measure to supply the water to Encinitas from Lake Hodges was accomplished. Anton was also mentioned in the California Avocado Association yearbook in 1927, discussing his innovative methods of dry farming to obtain avocados. I find this disturbing that such a light dusting of the historical details was done. Makes me feel that a deep dive was not done for any of the important details about this project. Please have the city planner on this project go over these documents with a fine-tooth comb because obviously this Cogstone organization hired by the Staver and Torrey Pacific does not have a clue on the historical value of this sacred property holds to Encinitas. I would like to again ask the city to please help the community purchase this sacred piece of land from the Stavers Trust and use it as open space and annex to the Botanical Gardens or Heritage Museum, or set it up similar to the San Diego Park in Solana Beach. Please try to tap into soft green infrastructure funding for open space. I also thought I had heard that the Environmental Commission was going to be working with the city planners on these new projects to make sure they're aligned with the Encinitas Climate Action Plan. If the Staver and Torrey Pacific are not being thorough on the cultural reporting, I am worried about the tree count and, of course, the drainage and hydrology dumping into Ocean Knoll Canyon. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Kessler. Our next speaker is Craig Rand, and he would like to speak about trees.
Hello. So I've been seeing a lot of, I guess, tree, removal or tree cutting. At least when I ride my bike in the neighborhood, I've been hearing, literally like every other morning, there's chainsaws. And so my question, I guess, is what can be done to, prevent the tree removals? I know it's private property, it's homeowners. Is there a way to prevent the cutting down of trees and then expand the tree planting? Can that be a program? For instance, my concern is, a new homeowner comes in and they, clear cut the property, which is their right, I understand. But then they, my biggest concern is they then will plant, palm trees because they saw it on the postcard. So I just want to propose, if we're looking at, or just confirm if someone's looking at, native trees, possibly even doing my family took advantage of the lawn removal program, which, totally offset all the new plants and shrubs that we brought into the property. So we basically, paid to get the both lawns done. And, now we've got butterflies, birds, lizards. We got everybody back in the yard. And literally, my neighbor's yard is just flat. So that's kind of what my main concern is, but maybe tying it into a discount. So for instance, the lawn removal program worked great. In my neighborhood, a lot of people went the low water, drought resistant, shrubs and plants, and so that worked out very well. So I think it'd be really positive to do with tree planting, and that is, just simply, make a discount to the nursery or a credit, like a tree credit. Same thing, if you're a new homeowner, or if you're an established homeowner, is there a way to just tie it to the water bill? Say, for instance, hey, I planted, 2, crepe myrtles, and so I get a discount on my water bill, that next month, $5, $10, I don't know where you want to start, but I just think it's something that we could look at least, and I want to let you know I'm here to help, so if I can somehow, get involved in the logistics of that, and/or plant a few trees. I'm still young enough to plant trees. But I just think we need to have some sort of like marketing program, where if you are going to take out a tree, maybe there's a requirement or tree ordinance we could somehow look at and say, hey, if the tree's, 3 inches and it's weak, get rid of it. But if it's a established, Engelmann oak, you can't cut it down. That's my concern, and I just want to see what the commissioners think about that. And also looking forward to Arbor Day, if I can help with that. I think I met you briefly at the earlier meeting. But yes, is there any way I could do that? I got lots of friends who are just, ready to do something. They just need to know what to do, really. That's where my friends are at. Okay, thanks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rand. That concludes oral communications. And our next item is approval of December 9th, 2021 meeting minutes.
I can make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Excellent. And our next item is an informational item. We do have one public speaker. Shall we have the public speaker first before the item? Item is an informational item on the presentation schedule, so it's really just an FYI. We usually don't go over it too much unless we want to see what's happening next, but we may want to discuss it because I think we might have some ideas or something in the queue. Let's have our public speaker, Joe. He is at the podium. Joe Gabaldon.
Yes.
With
Good
SDG&E.
evening,
Thank
members
you.
of the commission. My name is Joe Gabaldon, SDG&E's Public Affairs Manager. I'm also a resident of the city here. I'm really excited about this item in that there's a lot of stuff that SDG&E is working on with new technology and the energy front and the sustainability front that I think it's important to have that opportunity to share with you all. Some of the things that we're working on, new technology such as battery storage and microgrids that will help the resilience of the communities. Relative to the transportation sector contributing about 50% of the state's greenhouse gas emissions, moving forward with EVs, heavy-duty EVs, light-duty, is going to be important for us all. And so there's an initiative that I'd like to bring back some information on. It's a Sandag initiative working with the city of San Diego, the county. It's called the Accelerate to Zero initiative. And that's a pretty important one to try to align all these efforts and make sure there's no overlap, but ensure that we get the maximum out of all these dollars coming to the region. Lastly, there are programs on energy efficiency that we're working on, and so that would be something to complement some of the other efforts that are out there. So again, I'm really excited about our partnership with the city, with this group, and look forward to helping any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion on the schedule for future presentations or any thoughts on that? It's up, this is your time to jump in if there's any thoughts on that. Or anybody has anybody that they want to bring for a presentation in the months ahead. This is, if you want to jump on here, that's fine. If not, just let me know outside of the meeting setting and we'll be glad to get people set up.
You said this is the point to possibly put something else on a future,
If you have a presenter you'd like to bring in on a specific topic, now you can bring it up.
okay. I would like to do that. Hopefully on our next meeting, March 10th, potentially having someone do a presentation on marine environment and the harmful causes of cigarette butt pollution.
Okay. Okay. March, so in March.
Yes.
Okay. We can do that. Just get, Commissioner O'Connor, if you could just provide me the details of the speaker and before the next meeting, and we'll get it all included on the agenda. That'd be great.
Will do.
And I would like to bring in the city arborist, Chris Kallstrand, to speak on the status of the tree canopy within the city.
Okay.
And I believe he can do it in May.
Okay. All right, and just for the good of the rest of the commission, if there's any topics or speakers that you want to bring in, you can always reach out to me and we can get it scheduled in for a future meeting. So it looks like we might have a speaker lined up for March and May, so anytime beyond that. And then this is here as a reference. I mean, there's been a lot of speakers over time. It's good to bring them back. I appreciate that SDG&E was here tonight providing some comments. They've come and provided some details on their programs in the past, and it's probably a good time to, you know, if there's a time that there's any interest from the commission to bring them in, that'd be great. Go ahead, Commissioner Morrison.
I'd like SDG&E to come back and
Okay.
do a presentation, but since Joe's here, and I think it ties into what the last public speaker asked, Joe, you guys were kind enough to give me 5 shade trees because I came and learned how to plant a tree. Is that program still around? I still have a couple of those trees alive at my house.
Yeah, we do have, as part of our sustainability program, we have a goal of planting 10,000 trees in our region each year. Last year, we exceeded that number, so we're looking forward to continuing that and talking to folks here at the city about what we can do locally.
That same program I participated in around, or is it morphed to where you're giving trees to SDG&E?
I'm not sure which one. I'm still pretty new to
Okay.
the
It was
community,
fantastic.
but-
You came, you taught us how, we all had to go out and learn how to plant trees properly with staking and everything, and you got a coupon to go get 3 to 5 free trees, and you had to check a box and everything like that. So if you could bring back that information at your presentation, I would appreciate that.
Okay, great, happy to.
Eric, would this be an opportunity to request a presentation from city staff, or is that a separate type of presentation?
You may, and
Okay.
I yes.
I
if
would
there's a-
be, yeah,
Yeah.
I would be interested in hearing from the planning, I guess not the planning commission, but the planning department, just about efforts to align development and planning with the climate action plan, if there are any. Just like to learn a little bit more about that.
Okay. I can talk to staff.
Thank you.
I know someone that works on the climate action plan. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
See, right
yeah,
here.
what's her
So-
name again?
So this is Crystal Nahara, by the way. She's a sustainability manager for the city of Encinitas. So she's going to be a really good resource to connect the dots on that. But
great.
so we're both writing the same thing down, and we can line up the right staff. I couldn't give you a date right now, just because we don't know what staff resource needs are. But that's perfect. We'll write down that topic for a future presentation.
Thank you so much, Crystal and Eric.
All right. On to action items.
Yes, on to action items.
All right. So action item 7A tonight is just to kind of reorient the commission. It's a standing item each month, just providing updates on any activity related to any of the goals identified in the city's or the commission's work plan. So I will go through the updates. And as typical, all the updates are in red that have been captured. If there's anything I have not captured, please let me know. And if there's any additional updates you'd like to add and we can capture next month, we can do that as well. So just as a reminder, this is an actionable item. So we were asking for a motion to approve. If there's updates, we just ask for a motion to approve with updates considered. Just as another note on this particular item, since we didn't have a meeting in January, this covers December and January. So goal 7, the Environmental Awards Program. So the nomination period for the 2021 Environmental Awards Program has been opened as of January 18th, 2022. Nominations can be made for a nonprofit organization, a for-profit business, or environmental hero youth under 18, and environmental hero adult. So the nomination period will end on February 28th, 2022. Just as an add-on to that, there's a website for that information as well. I will note at the last meeting, there were some names added to those commissioners involved in some of the specific items. And so I've identified those in red. So if you're seeing your name and you didn't think you would be on there, or if you're not seeing your name, just let me know that, but I won't go over those in detail. Looks like goal number 10, the vegetation management goal. The meeting on the native plant, the joint meeting for the Environmental Commission, Planning Commission, and Urban Forest Advisory Committee, or the UFAC. That meeting to talk about native plants is looking to be rescheduled for March of 2022. Separately, I had emailed all the commissioners, so if you just get back to me, I've heard from most of you, but if you haven't gotten back to me, please just let me know so we can start circling a date in March. Ciclovia, literally just changed 2 words. Instead of Ciclovia will be on January 9th, it was held on January 9th, 2022. All reports that I have heard is it was a great success. I hope some of you had a chance to attend. On the zero waste front, this commission did hear these ordinances, so hopefully you're familiar. The numbers are kind of obtuse, but ordinances 2021, 15, 16, and 17 were adopted by the City Council on December 15th, 2021. Just as a reminder, those were the amended solid waste, the new mandatory organics recycling, the solid waste management ordinance amendment, as well as the construction and demolition debris recycling ordinance amendments. So those were ultimately, after they were heard by this commission, they were ultimately adopted by the City Council. On goal number 14, on the plastic pollution front, ordinance 2021-01, when it was originally heard by the commission, it was 2021-19, so it just changed based on the year, was introduced by the City Council through a public hearing on January 19th, 2022, and since the publishing of this, and it'll be included next week, this ordinance did go through its second reading and adoption just last night with City Council. So this ordinance is adopted and will be in effect in 30 days from now, or from last night, I should say.
Eric, is this a point where I could ask if another commissioner wanted to join the plastic pollution and make it 3 with the pending presentations and a potential discussion and debate on an action plan
This would be
based
a
on that.
perfect time to do that.
So if
Yep.
anybody here was interested in plastic pollution in regards to cigarette butt and marine environment, I know we have two commissioners absent, and we could ask again next month if nobody had a strong feeling tonight. But if somebody did want to join Katie and myself on that, that'd be great.
Okay. I'll turn it over to all of you. If there's any interest, and if not, okay, like
Sure.
Commissioner-
Commissioner Switzler, I'd like to join in that.
All right, super, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, great.
So now we've got 3 for goal 14. You're maxed out. So that's a good thing. So this is one that we neglected to capture last month, or the last update is goal number 15. So it was actually in September of 2021 that the City Council adopted Resolution 2021-67 advocating for the divestment from fossil fuels and updates to the City of Encinitas investment policy. That was another item that began here in this commission. Commissioner Adams was the big spearhead on that, so that was a big achievement back in September. On goal 16, related to the San Onofre Nuclear Generating Station, it was on August 12th, 2021, that the Environmental Commission approved a recommendation to City Council to adopt a resolution to support strategies for the safety commissioning of the San Onofre Nuclear Generating Station, or SONGS. And it was on December 15th, 2021, that the City Council did adopt Resolution 2021-119 in support of the safety commissioning of SONGS. So there was action taken by council there. So with that, that's all the updates captured from the last couple months. Open for any discussion or changes or edits or additional language in any of these spaces. I will turn it over to the commission.
Yeah, I don't have any comments. If everybody agrees, I'd like to initiate a motion to approve these. I'll initiate a motion to approve the work plan with these edits.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Oh, thank you.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. All right. Whoa, can't see this with a mask on.
We have no commissioner-initiated agenda items tonight. So the next item would be updates of items of interest to the commission or announcements by the commission members or staff.
Can I ask a question in regards to number 8? With asking for a presentation, does that sort of create a commissioner-initiated agenda item on that topic of marine debris, cigarette butts?
So item 8 is really the spot that it comes after something's been pretty developed. So so if I'll give an example. If the balloon ordinance was in a draft form and a report was prepared by the commissioners that identified all of that and went through all the legwork and heavy lifting and said, hey, this is what we're recommending, that's what would go here. So really 7 and 8 are kind of the action items, something that's ready for an action, something that's ready for a vote. 7 is usually brought forward by staff. 8 is obviously brought forward by a commissioner.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That's a good clarification. Thank you. So we're on, just as a reminder, we're on item 9, so updates of interest. So if anybody has any interest, this is your time to share.
Hi there.
Commissioner Morrison.
So glad Crystal is here. We put a lot of effort in a subcommittee and in this committee on the building code update. One of the items I was interested in is we were wondering and trying to incentivize compliance or upgrades with that, and that's really what I was interested in, maybe getting an update on and how that's going. And I believe some of the other members on the commission have asked, how can we help? I mean, there was an idea of circulating literature to all the plumbers in Encinitas, so when they do a hot water heater upgrade, they know they need a permit and things like that. So, because I just had the fun experience of getting a permit through the city for a electrical panel upgrade, and it really wasn't that bad.
So in order to have a conversation that you're initiating, we really should have this as an item on the agenda so we can discuss it.
I'll go back and put that on number 8.
You do that?
There you
Okay.
go.
So we'll bring that, so it could take the form of, staff could be bringing forward an item to provide an update on that program, if that's something that the commission would like to hear. And then you're welcome to have that dialogue back and forth and get questions answered, find out how you can help. And it's just a matter of procedure. Since it's not on the agenda, and the public doesn't have an opportunity to see that it's a conversation that's to be had, that's where we got to put it on the agenda to formalize it. That makes sense. But it's a great question. And Crystal is the resource for that. So good connection. Any other updates by the commission?
It was already mentioned, the balloon ordinance passing last night, but I just wanted to thank Eric, you, for your guidance and crafting such a wonderful ordinance, and staff and everyone who had a hand in it, from Chamomile on down, and to Katie, who was one of the commissioners a year ago or so when this was first brought to the Environmental Commission, along with June Hansberger, who's still been connected to it through the very end. So a deep thanks to everyone who got that to the finish line.
Any other updates?
I have a sort of, I guess, an update, just a brainstorm as well, possibly. I saw that the council had considered last night a resolution for the preservation of open space, and I didn't check the meeting to see if it passed or not last night. Did it pass? Wonderful. Well, there's an effort nationally to create a national biodiversity strategy for the United States. Many countries have one. It's required under the Convention of Biological Diversity, which our country's not a party to, but it's high time we do actually devise one. And it just got me thinking, this is a really neat synergy with this preservation of open space, prioritizing that with future plans for the city, incorporating preserving natural habitat when we think about, future development. So it's just sort of more a comment, but that could be something on our radar as this national biodiversity strategy effort kind of ramps up. There have been some representatives in the House of Representatives that have initiated a bill, but it has not been voted on yet, but there's something in the works there. So that would be an executive order that would be passed by the president. We do already have, as a nation, a goal to preserve 30% of lands and waters by 2030, the 30 by 30 initiative. So this resolution that City Council passed last night is also in line with that national goal. So just some comments there.
That may be a good topic for city staff to come provide. I know there's a lot of regional coordination through SANDAG for open space preservation. And so it might be good to illuminate the commission on exactly what's happening locally, and see how it may align with a larger effort. So here I am volunteering our staff like all over the place.
Wonderful.
But I'm going to go ahead and note that down as a potential for something. I'll take the note of keeping an eye on it, but also, it might be something to bring to the commission for information.
Great. That's wonderful. Good idea. Thanks.
And I know we had a public speaker mention a topic of open space, of a piece of property that's being looked at now for other purposes. So, yeah.
Okay. Any more updates?
Yeah, I had one that I want to bring up. I'm not sure where it goes in the agenda, but this seemed like probably a good spot as any. It's an issue that came to my attention just last month. I think it's very impactful to the city of Encinitas, and I want to just raise it for discussion and see where it goes. Oceanside had approved a plan for sand replenishment by installing like beach jetties that go out into the water. They approved a plan for like $1 million in August to go to start developing that. In January of this year, the Carlsbad City Council approved a resolution opposing the plan. It's opposed by the Surf Rider Organization and Sierra Club as being doing more harm than good to the beaches. And it just seems like something that's potentially impactful to Encinitas beaches also. And it seems like we should be doing something to investigate what we think of that Oceanside proposal and maybe make a recommendation to the city council for a similar resolution. Or maybe we agree with it, I don't know, but seems like something we should at least be considering.
So I will say, sure. That is, and actually, just for clarification, it's good that you brought it up. It would actually fit under item 10 for future commissioner-initiated items. So if that's something and that's a perfect place, that's exactly what you do. You raise it up, you socialize it. It provides opportunity under item 10, so let's act like we're on item 10 for now. And then you get some feedback from the commission. Oh, I think that's a great idea. I don't think that's a good idea, or I have a position on it. And then you go back and do the heavy lifting. And if you want to do that research, kind of look into that topic, and provide a recommendation to the commission at a future meeting. And it doesn't commit you to anything. If you look through it and it just kind of dies or goes somewhere else, that's fine too. So
Yeah.
it's just a way of just kind of elevating an issue. So that's a perfect
Okay.
way of doing that.
So we'll move it to item 10, but I
Okay,
think I've already
perfect.
exhausted my expertise on the topic,
Perfect.
so I'm not
Well,
sure I have much more to add to
I
it.
think we were trailing off on 9 anyway, so I think it was a good segue. So
No, that's,
Okay.
that's definitely of interest, so thank you for bringing that up.
And, another suggestion too is it's always good if you've got some interest to maybe get some company on something like that. So, it sounds like Katie Kramer might have some interest on it, or Commissioner Kramer. So it's totally up to you. So we will go ahead and we'll move to item 10. If there is any additional discussion, it sounds like you've got some support. and
I have some interest, so I'll
Okay.
help you look at it.
Perfect. All right, any other future commissioner-initiated items anyone would like to raise up?
Should I ask again, is this where the marine pollution of cigarette butts would go to a future agenda item, or?
I'm not really hearing you very well, I'm sorry. Is your mic?
I've asked a couple times about the marine debris cigarette butt
Uh-huh.
presentation and stuff. Is this where it would be
This is where you
brought up?
want to, throw it
Okay,
out there as a
okay.
topic that you'd like to bring forward at a future time and see if there's any input from the commission at this time.
Okay. Besides the presentation and the fact that there's now 3 people on the work plan?
So you're set. You can still just identify it as something you'd like to bring forward at a future meeting and see if there's any
Okay,
thoughts on it.
yeah, I would like to do that, again, the meeting on March 10th.
Okay, sounds good. All right, any other future commissioner-initiated items? Any thoughts anyone's having on bringing anything forward?
I guess this is where I ask Crystal to come back next time or in the future time to give us an update on that.
You got it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and likewise with the city staff, talking about planning and our environmental impact considerations, and especially with the climate action plan, that would be great.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and I'm interested in creating a city tree canopy goal with going towards a resolution for development.
Okay. All right. Any other future initiated items, commissioner-initiated items to raise up?
Do I get to use this gavel?
You call it. You got to make someone's got to make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, well, then
And then someone has to approve, and then you
Okay,
can use the
okay.
gavel.
Would anyone like to make a motion tonight that hasn't made a motion already?
I make a motion that we adjourn.
There you go.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? then we are adjourned.
Well done. Been waiting all night for that.